Well, that's a whole discussion that I think we wanted to get Corey back on the phone. Plus, his book comes
Team
out
Corey.
next
I'm supporting him.
There you go. Well, speaking of team, we've been Team Krissi all along. We love Krissi. Krissi's our dear friend, and Krissi's on the line. So let's get her up here and welcome her back. Krissi, you're live on Totally Driven Radio. Welcome back, Krissi. We missed you.
Yo, how you doing? You missed me?
Of course we missed you.
Listen. Before we go any further, I want to file a complaint that I have not been asked to be a plus-size angel at Corey Feldman's party. I mean, what the hell is that?
Well, I mean, we could probably arrange it, but I don't know if you want to do that.
I just want to be asked. I don't know if I want to actually be, following through. I just want to respectfully decline, but I'm feeling kind of slighted,
I'll tell you what, Corey was a great person to have on the show. Like, we went almost a 2-hour interview. Like, we couldn't get him off the phone. I finally had to say, like, you have to get off the phone. Like, we have to go. It was crazy. Oh, yeah. Oh, he just talked, and it was great. Like, he didn't hide nothing.
He did some parenting on air.
Yeah.
That was great when he was talking to his, I don't know if he has a son or a daughter.
Yeah, he's got a young son.
He was talking to him, and it was great because we're just sitting there, and he's like, oh, you guys heard that? And we're like, yeah, it was okay. Parenting advice with Corey Feldman. What other show has that?
Yeah, it was a total different side to Corey Feldman that you would expect to see. You would expect to see the Corey Angel side, but but anyway, enough about Corey. We want to talk about you. We're very sad today. It's a sad day in America.
People talking about me.
Shenanigans. That's all I'm claiming. It's shenanigans. Yeah. I want to out. I'm protesting Masterchef. If I see Graham, I'm going to punch him. Very angry. Very angry.
Don't punch Graham. He's just a grown-up hipster.
Ramsey can stick that souffle where the sun don't shine. How's that, Gordon?
Oh, boy. Whoa. You don't damage those parts on Gordon.
If he doesn't know.
Way too good to damage the man.
Masterchef, when she was standing in front of him, I have anger issues with Gordon right now.
Aw.
Well, so if people have not heard by now, it riveted the nation. Krissi was eliminated from MasterChef last night, and as I said, the nation is riveted. People were up in arms, upset, and you are now home, which you've been home all along.
Yeah.
What was it like yourself watching the show last night to see yourself eliminated?
Well, to be honest with you, I had actually forgotten how angry I was with Jessie until they cut that one scene when I said I was going to hit her in the face with a hot frying pan, and you actually saw me shaking. That's Hulkamania, Krissi. That's the Krissi that's going to clothesline you. That's the Krissi that may go to jail. So it's a really good thing that I controlled myself.
and you know what? That was something I was saying to myself last night. Like, if people didn't see last night, you were teamed up with Jessie and against Natasha and Luca. And you guys it was a total clash. There was no teamwork. You guys were not getting along. And she made a comment to you, and you just, what did you say to me? And South Philly Krissi came out, and look out. And
well, I mean, the whole thing of the matter was, from Jump Street, you know what I mean? She had an attitude. As soon as they, put us together, her attitude started. And I was just trying to be, you know what I mean, whatever. Hey, let's just get this done, whatever. I suggested a million things to her. Everything was no. I was working on the lobster. She told me to get off the lobster, go over here. So I went over here. Then she says, oh, you abandoned me on the lobster. I didn't abandon you. You told me to get off the lobster. You were going to finish it. Then she didn't put the lamb in the oven, and she says, oh, I told you to do it. And I'm like, no, you didn't tell me to do it. Then it was this, then it was that. Then she made the pie crust, And because I said to her, I said, do you want me to make the pie crust? You got to tell me the measurements, because I have a very bad memory, and that's why I asked her, for the recipe for the crepes as well, because I have a hard time memorizing things. I got, neurological, stuff. I have, seizures and stuff, and it's hard for me to remember a lot of things. So I asked her, I said, I'll do the pie crust. I said, do you remember the measurements for the pie crust? She goes, no, I'll do the pie crust. So she did the pie crust, and I'm over here, doing peel and prep work. I don't know what she had me doing at the time. And I go over to work with the pie crust. She never chilled it. She never wrapped it. She left it sit out, and it was full of butter. I couldn't even use it. But somehow everything was my fault, whatever. And that's why I got mad, because, my whole thing was, one, you're lying. You know what I mean? Don't tell me one thing, and then when you get in front of the judges, say, oh, well, that's not what happened. And then, and I was kind of pissed off because they were like, oh, you threw Jessie under the bus. No. She threw me under the bus. I was just so angry, so angry. I am the type of person, when I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. With the whole, when we had the surfer challenge, and Savannah had said to do the tortillas almost black, and I didn't hear her. And I said, no, you didn't tell me that. And then when we watched the show, I saw that she had said that to me. You know what I mean? So I apologized to her. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you know what I mean? You better believe that I'm going to tell you like it is. You know what I mean? And the whole thing that made me so angry was that she lied. I can't stand liars. Do not lie. End of story. And that is what got me so mad.
Now, how did you guys get along before that? Did you guys have any problems beforehand, off camera or anything?
I mean, it was just the whole case of, her being the holier than thou type, and me, seeing right through it. And I just, she was never nasty to me, but she was standoffish to me. She was very uppity towards me. You know what I mean? I'd say, oh, hey, does anybody want coffee? And she'll go, oh, no, thanks, babe. You know what I mean? Just
right.
Don't talk to me like that. The people from this area, when a spade is a spade. You know what I mean? Yeah. I saw right through a lot of these people the second day that I had met them, and my father always taught me, you treat them exactly how they treat you, not the other way around. If they're being, jerk-offs to you, then you don't need to be bothered with them. And that was my whole thing. And I didn't want to be bothered with them. And, maybe they would want to go out to dinner or something like that, and I would be like, I don't want to go. I have to save my money. I'm sorry. And then, you don't want everyone to do anything. And, so it was just a lot of on-camera, off-camera things, and, just personality clashes. Basically, I didn't put up with it, and they didn't like that I didn't put up with them.
You really watching the show. You can see between watching you on the show and now you can't see it with Bree when Bree was on, but you can see a person from Philly and the difference of everybody from around the country compared to a person from Philly. It's weird. And even now we have coming up later in the show these guys from the Food Networks on their show on the Great Sandwich Truck Race. And they have those Philly guys.
I watched them. Trust me, I watched them.
But you can see the same thing. You can see the difference in a Philly person compared to people from the rest of the country. It's weird. It's weird how we stand out.
Well, all right. I mean, to be honest with you, anybody who knows me knows I'm scared of heights. I'm petrified of heights. I'm scared to fly. And, I'd never been on a plane. Being in L.A. was the first time I have ever been outside of this area. I had never been exposed to anybody who wasn't like us. You understand? Right. I come from here. I got more friends than I can keep up with. I can't, you know what I mean? Oh, you want to go here this weekend? No, I got to go here this weekend. Oh my God, but you promised. You know what I mean? I bounce around. I'm a social butterfly. Everybody knows me, and I know everybody, and nobody really has a problem with me. You understand? I'm very well liked. I go out there. It's whoa, like, nobody, what do you mean you don't think I'm funny? Everybody thinks I'm funny, you know what I mean? And it was just very, very, very difficult. It's the first time I was away from home. It's the first time I was ever separated from my son, so it was just a culture shock. And I had never been exposed to anybody like, the people that were on the show, except for, the down-to-earth people, such as Kathy. Kathy's from the Bronx. Kathy was my best friend on the show. Malcolm's from Boston. You know what I'm saying? So basically anybody that was like an East Coast city type of person, Miss Sasha, loved her to death. She's from, or down in Alabama. Anybody pretty much that knows what's up, I was very cool with. It was the food snobs and the, that I just, look, well, because I don't cook foie gras. That makes you more knowledgeable than me. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? I've been cooking since I could stand on a chair and reach the stove. You just started watching the Food Network 5 years ago. Don't tell me how it's done, sweetheart.
Well, that was one thing that I thought. Jessie, I thought didn't belong in the top four. I couldn't understand how each week she skated through, especially the one week where she coasted and played it safe. I thought they were going to get rid of her that week.
Well, my whole answer to that is, she was in one pressure test. She was fortunate enough to not land in any pressure test. See, now that I watched the show, while you're there, there's so many emotions and so many things, like attitudes flying around, like, you know what I mean, that you can't really see the big picture while you're there, because to you the big picture is winning, so you don't realize maybe this person is backstabbing you at the time. You don't know this person maybe talking about you as bad as you think they are, you know what I mean? But now watching the show, like, I feel like they always picked me last, not because, they just didn't want me on their team. They picked me last because they knew that I would end up on a losing team, possibly, and be in a pressure test, and they wanted me gone. And they wanted me gone because they couldn't get rid of me any other way, because I rocked everything. The only two bad dishes that I had the entire time there was the catfish, which was just a difference of opinion, because, come on, who doesn't eat fried catfish? You know what I mean? That's how I eat it. That's how I was exposed to it. It's either fried catfish and grits or fried catfish and mashed potatoes. You go to any Cracker Barrel across the country, you get fried catfish. And they didn't feel as though it was elevated enough, and I threw a hissy fit because I'm like, look, this is what I know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a chef. I'm a home cook, dude. Like, this is what I know. And the strawberry muffins, that was a mess up. After I did it, I was like, why did I just do that? I thought of about more of the flavor of the strawberry from the strawberry gelatin going in, and after I dumped it in, I went, oh my God, that's going to turn to absolute hockey pucks. You know what I mean? Like, because you're in such a high pressure situation, you don't think sometimes until it's too late, but those were my only two bumps the entire time I was there. They were my only two hiccups that I was in danger ever.
Now, last night, like, when you walked off, I mean, you actually walked off. That was the first time anybody did that all season. I don't know if anybody did that before, but you walked off, and I always thought to myself, oh, my God, like, is she just going to out and out just quit here to save herself from going to jail? Like, what's going on? What was going through your head when you walked off?
The whole thing of it is that I wasn't quitting. I wasn't walking away because I was quitting. I was walking away and removing myself from a toxic situation that was going to make me boil over into, like, a complete maniac. Listen, love me or hate me, I don't care if you think, I'm not classy or whatever. Look, that's just where I was raised. This is how I am. You know what I mean? Whatever. Say whatever you want to say about me. I don't take no shit, and I'm not going to take it from anybody anywhere. I don't care if I'm in a geriatric home in front of a million old people. If a nurse comes over and talks shit to me, I'm going to say something back. You understand? I knew that I needed, knowing my history of hit first, ask later, you know what I mean? Like, come on,
right.
I grew up at 26th and Snyder. My neighborhood was pretty rough. You know what I mean? We didn't have discussions. We didn't talk it out. I'm not a bully. I didn't go looking for trouble. I stood up for myself. You understand? I knew that I needed to walk away and remove myself from that situation, take it down a notch, realize why I was there, and get back in there and fight.
Now, Krissi, I got to ask you
I
this.
didn't walk away to quit. I walked away to calm down.
Oh, that was obvious. I mean, you got to walk away from those situations. But I got to ask you, and I hope that you recorded last night's show, because
I did.
when you were sitting underneath after the test, and they were talking smack, and you went up and confronted them, and they all backed down. They were like, no, Natasha. They can never say anything bad about you again, because at that point you could just be like, oh, really? And just play the video of you just punking off.
That's the whole thing. Like, that's why I didn't get along with them, because any chance they got, it was crazy, because when Natasha was fighting with Luca, Natasha would like, oh, Luca. But then all of a sudden her and Luca did fine, so now it's Krissi. And when Natasha was on Beanie, it was Beanie. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were all so two-faced. Like, if I didn't like you, you knew it. I didn't talk about you behind your back. If I had something to say to you, I was going to say it, whether it's on camera or behind camera. I don't do that. I don't play that. You got something to say about me? You want to run your mouth? I'm going to come up. Yeah, what are you saying? What'd you say? Oh, we didn't say nothing. All right, well, I'm going to sit up here then. So this way, if you have something to say about me, you can say it right to my face, because I'm sitting right here. You're big and big when I'm downstairs. How about now? You want to say it now?
I'll tell you what, that had to be probably the most awkward moment in television history. Just sitting there and watching their faces. They could not look you in the eye. They were just like, they were so scared for their lives.
I am so glad that it finally came out how they were towards me, because now everybody knows why I had the chip on my shoulder. I didn't get along with anybody. And I didn't get along with anybody because they thought that I was white trash. They didn't respect me, whatever. You know what? You don't have to like me, but you are going to respect me. So therefore, if you got something to say that you're going to say behind my back, have the balls to say it in front of my face. And they're lucky that that's the only time I caught them.
Like I said, the fact, though, that it's on, that you have the proof, because they were all talking, like you said, especially Natasha. Oh, this. Oh, no. And it literally looked like a little kid that just got caught doing something she shouldn't have been doing. No, we were talking about our pie, and I'm cracking up. I'm like, wow. She just punked them out on national TV, and the fact that they just showed it from beginning to that to me, that would have been my defining moment at that point, because that would be like, I'd keep that on my phone just to show it to people.
Well, the whole thing is, I get all this hate on Twitter. I get all this hate on Facebook. I don't even go on the Masterchef page because people are so foul. But, like, they're telling, I said Beanie sucks at life. Okay. And would I have said that to his face? Yeah. You know why I said it in the interview and on camera, and I was up on the balcony telling him that he was a loser? Because that's how I felt, and that's how I was telling him. So you can hate me for saying it, but at least I said it. At least I didn't hide. At least I said it.
That's true. There was one thing, too, now this was my take on it. After you were eliminated and you were standing there and, Gordon and the guys, they were talking to you, and they kept flashing up to the balcony to show them guys. They went from having this scared look a few minutes earlier to actually what I thought was a look of respect for you.
Yeah, I did. And I have to say, like, me and Luca bumped heads a lot. But Luca always did say, Krissi, you are a good cook. I just don't like you. And I respected Luca for that, for saying that to me. And that's why I really never, ever had a problem with Luca. Even I felt bad giving him the turkey and the bird thing because, Luca was really a nice guy. Did I think that he would make it to the top 2? No. But, he's a very good guy, and my son thought that he was aces, and that meant a lot to me. My kid liked you, and I felt bad about flinging the gravy up at him, but, don't talk shit. Don't do it. You got something to say. Say it to me. Don't stand up there and cackle.
Well, you and him had my other favorite moment of the whole season when you gave him the turkey. And I think it was Joel that asked him, well, you know why she gave you the turkey? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, she doesn't like you. And he's like, really?
Yeah, that made me laugh. But
really?
honestly,
she doesn't like me? So, yeah, he is a likable guy. Now something I was talking to Bay about earlier.
He's a good dude. He can be a little jerk sometimes, but for the most part, Luca is 90% of the time a really, really good dude.
Now, that's also your prediction to win it, correct?
Well, I really hope that Luca wins, because if Natasha wins, I'll never hear the end of it. It'll be old. Oh God, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it.
If she wins,
because you know what, like if it comes down to Luca, and is Natasha a phenomenal cook? Absolutely. I have never not said that Natasha was not a great cook. She is a wonderful cook. She's got incredible technique, but she's a bad person. She is a very bad person. And Luca is a good person, and Luca will take that money, and Luca will take that cookbook, and he'll do good things with it. I could see Luca doing charity work. Luca loves children. Luca loves pets. Like, you understand, like, Luca is more deserving. At this point in time, I think they're both wonderful chefs, cooks, whatever you want to call us. But I just think that Luca is going to have that edge because he's a better person, and that good-naturedness comes out on a plate for him. And I think that Natasha's plates lack personality because she has a bad one. You understand? I think that Luca, I just think Luca has the edge. I do.
Now, how about yourself?
I was saying this to Bay earlier. I think if Natasha does win, I don't see people having an interest in a cookbook by her. I just think that, like you said, she has a nasty personality. She thinks she's better. I like cooking. I like cookbooks. And this is not just because I know you. There is nothing about her that would make me want to buy anything she does. And
she doesn't relate to everyday people. She relates to the uppity, foodie people that think that they're better than everybody else. And that's not your audience. Your audience is the everyday working middle class. It's just like a politician. You understand? You gotta go in there and you gotta be like, who do I need to relate to? You understand? And you gotta pick an average person. You can't have these, people that think they're great because, when you look down on the little man, guess what? The little man is the one that pays for everything. You understand? We're the ones that hold the entire economy together, for God's sakes. The middle class is where it's at. You can't look down on us and expect us to like you, and that's what it is. I don't even think she's marketable. God forbid she does win. They're going to lose a lot of money on her.
No, you know what? That book will be in a $1 bin in 2 weeks.
Oh.
Look, Frank, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just say there's going to be no book. Because maybe if I put it out in the universe that there's not going to be a book, that she's not going to win, she won't win. The power of positive thought, Frank.
Now, yourself personally, how well do you think you did personally? Are you happy with how you did, and are you happy with the way you were portrayed?
Look, I have to say that the way that I was portrayed, look, I said all that stuff. I did all that stuff. It may have been taken out of context here or there, but, what are you going to do? You signed up for a show, that's what happens. Nothing is going to come out exactly as it seems. You know, they can't show every single bit of footage. You know, so I mean, I don't like how I came off, but you know, some of that was my fault. You know, I was a jerk sometimes, but why was I a jerk? And I'm just a little disappointed that people didn't get that until the very end of why I had the chip on my shoulder towards everybody. But you know, as far as my culinary, I know so much more now than I ever did. You know, I'm very stubborn. I like the old way. That's how I was been taught, you know, from my grandmother, my great-grandmother, you know, my grandfather. And I was always like, oh, I don't want to use that. I don't use a food processor. Food processors are for, preppy people. I do it by hand. But, you know, being taught the right way, I learned to enhance everything that I already know. And now I can work faster. I can multitask better. And I could still keep all the old traditions alive. Like, I would never make pasta in a food processor. You couldn't pay me to do it. I got to do it by hand. I have to. But instead of using the hand crank pasta roller now I'm not so against electric rollers. You know, so I learned a lot, and I only learned how to make my technique better because my flavor's always been there. The food has always been awesome. Now I just know how to make it technically better so that it's just a little bit less than perfect.
Now, is it me? Every week somebody is eliminated when they do like the little montage of video clips of everything you've been through the season. It's almost like I get the feeling it's like they make it like the person was killed off, like the person died. It was, you know what I mean? It's like such a sad thing, and I get like all like misty eyed. I'm like, oh, they're gone. Like that's it. You know what I mean? The way they do it's so good.
I totally hear what you're saying, and it's emotional for me too because I kind of saw my journey flash through in 30 seconds, and I was like, wow, I really did come far, you know, from being so humbled. The very first time I even walked into the doors and saw the 3 judges, and I thought, well, I've never been one to be shy. I'm going in there, you know, blazing saddle, and lo and behold, you know, being myself got me that apron. Granted, the food was good, but, you know, my personality shined through, and, you know what I mean? And when they brought my son out, America saw the real me. Yeah, I'm hard as nails or whatever, but that boy, he makes me melt.
See, now, when somebody got eliminated, I differ from you guys. I didn't get misty. I laughed my butt off. Like, when Jesse got eliminated, it wasn't like, oh, it was So,
you know,
sorry,
I just felt
like, you guys, I
you know,
guess.
my whole thing with that was, you know, God works in mysterious ways, and God don't like ugly. And that's why I really and truly, truly believe that Luca is going to win, because I just can't see something so wonderful happening to someone that is so not nice. So I just think that Luca deserves it, and I really hope that he wins.
Well, the more I watch him, the more I think he was holding back in the beginning.
I do. I think he was very unsure of himself, and then something changed in him, and he found his voice, and he found, you know, I think it was the same kind of thing with me a little bit, you know, like I lacked confidence to go outside the box because, you know, all I've ever done is, you know, cook Italian-American and comfort foods, and, you know, my grandfather's from the South, cooking things like fried chicken. And, you know, how do you elevate fried chicken? You know, if you don't have the training or the knowledge or things like that, like, to me, it's good enough, you know, but it's not good enough. And that's the thing that really staggers you back a little bit. You're like, whoa, you know, like here you're at home and you know you're the best. Everybody in the neighborhood tells you are. And you get out there and it's like Gordon Ramsay and Joe Bastianich and Graham Elliott, they're telling you, yeah, it's good, but it's not the best. You know, like you start to doubt yourself a little bit, and it's rough. It's very, very rough. And all I wanted to do, I mean, I wanted to earn the respect of all 3 of the judges, but most of all Joe. Like like that. I wanted to prove to him that everything that his mother had taught me, you know what I mean, was, you know, that I was good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I sought his approval the most.
Well,
now, did you have your lunch yet with him and his mother?
I did not. So
I'll
be heading up to New York soon, and it's just, you know, when the schedules allow. And I really and truly appreciate that, and I'm really glad that he invited my son as well, because that really means a lot to him. And I really think that Joe may have had a soft spot for me, because, you know, despite my rough exterior or whatever, he knew, you know, I think they all knew, you know, the most important thing to me is my son. And, you know, I'm a fighter, and it's tough to let your guard down, you know, especially when you're in an unfamiliar environment and you're trying to be the best at something, you know. And I think that he saw a lot of him and his mom's relationship with me and Mikey, the way, you know, we love and respect each other, and, you know, we're like best friends. And I think he related with that, and I think that's why perhaps he may have had a little bit of a soft spot for me. And I think that's why he gave me a hard time, because he knew that I was better than I know I was.
Yeah, you can see you totally gained their respect, and I think not only as a person but as a chef, from all three of them. Like you can see in their face, like I said, with the contestants, you can see in their face, you totally gained, you know, everybody on that show's respect, and everybody across the country that watch that show, they have to respect you too. And like you said, love you or hate you, but you have to respect what you did. And nothing for nothing, all you guys that went on that show. I mean, I'm sitting on my couch watching, and I'm getting stressed out just watching. I can't imagine being put in a pressure test, and I never heard of 3/4 of the things you guys were cooking and using. So props up to you.
Neither did I. I watch the Food Network, and I collect cookbooks. I have probably over 1,000 cookbooks. I love cookbooks. It's one of my most favorite things, and I have a few awesome cookbooks thanks to Frank. Thank you very much, my darling. And you know, like I read about food, and I look at recipes constantly, but you know, my disadvantage was that, you know, I'm on a budget, babe. You know, I can't go out and afford, you know, all these crazy ingredients. So I improvise with simple ingredients. And I think because I improvise so much because of, you know, a tight budget, I think that's why I was able to, you know, work with the more expensive ingredients, because I knew what they were, you know what I mean? But I didn't know how to cook them, but because I read and, you know, and I knew how to do such, you know, technical and basic things, that's what saved my ass.
Well, it seemed like you also had a more of respect for the ingredients than the people, like bringing up Natasha. She cooks with this stuff. She didn't respect and, you know, this is coming from somebody who likes to cook. You got to respect the ingredients and the food, and it seemed like you were appreciative more because you don't get to cook with it. So when you got a chance,
exactly,
enjoyed it, and you knew what it could do, and it just seems like, you know, it's almost like a spoiled kid, and when they get it all the time, they're not appreciative of it. And the one thing I thought that made you a great cook, a great chef, was you knew that as good as your stuff was, like you said, you know, you could do stuff to notch it up. And that is one thing that I think a lot of them didn't want to accept. We're like, oh, no, it's good. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, apparently they do, because they're a lot richer than you'll ever be. And they've gotten that way because of their palates and because of their cooking. So when Chef Ramsay tells you, hey, this could be a lot better, I'm pretty sure that it could be a lot better.
Right. And it was really hard for me, too, and because I'm so stubborn. And, you know, like last night, for instance, when he yelled at me for putting the raw garlic in the vinaigrette, like, I wasn't going to serve chunks of raw garlic in the vinaigrette. It was in there for flavor, and then I was going to remove it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But when Ramsey comes over, you start to, okay, I'm going to take it out right now. Like you don't even think. You're just like, oh my God, I need his approval. I have to do exactly what he says, and it cracks me up in knowing what an awesome and caring dude he really is, because they genuinely gave a shit about us. They really and truly did. Like, they wanted us to succeed. And when I see, like, not Hell's Kitchen, but, like, the restaurant where he goes around, the Kitchen Nightmares, and
right.
I see people being, like, disrespectful to him, like he doesn't know what he's talking about, like, I take that personally. Like, I kind of start yelling at the TV, like, yo, don't talk to him like that.
Yeah, when people do that, it amazes me.
It cracks me up that, like, are you kidding me? Like, your restaurant's failing, and he's come there to help you, and you want to talk back to him? Like,
yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. I mean, we're just a stubborn country, and everybody thinks, they're better than everybody else, and that's what it comes down to. Whatever.
All right, we got two important questions we got to ask before we let you go. The main question, of course, is what can we expect next from you?
Well, I am doing some big things. I am catering, which I absolutely love to do. I have zero interest in going into the restaurant industry. It's not for me. I don't want a restaurant. I don't want to be a slave to somebody else's menu. I like working for me. I like creating things for myself. I like making people happy with my food. So catering is really where it's at for me. I'm doing a lot of in-home demonstrations where I come to your house and you have a group of people, and I kind of like women had Tupperware parties. I'm the Tupperware, and I show you how to do things. I've been doing some cooking classes, which I absolutely love to teach people everything I know. And right now, I am actually finding my voice through cupcakes. And I am creating some really wild and outrageous cupcakes, and they are literally flying out of my door. People are going nuts over them, and I love that. That, for me, is why I love to cook, because when you taste one of my cupcakes and I'm looking at your face and you do the eye roll, oh, my God. That right there, that's it. That's why I do what I do, and I love it. And, if you're in the Philly area and you want to take me up on any of my awesome services, just go to Facebook and like the Rotund Chef page. I have a really awesome logo, green, my favorite color, and it's a pig, and she's holding a wooden spoon and yelling. Sorry, Jesse, it's not a cow, it's a pig. But yeah, so I'm really excited to see where this is going to take me, and I just love not being in the office anymore and being able to do what I love every day. That's awesome. I love it. I'm so happy.
Now, can we expect a Krissi cookbook?
I am actually, I've been approached by a few people, and it's just a matter of me getting my thoughts on paper and deciding on whether or not I want to release some secret recipes that have been in my family for years and years. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to say yes, but I haven't made a decision on whether or not I would like to put my recipes out there. I'm very possessive of my recipes. I'll cook them for you, but I don't know if I want you having them.
Well, that leads to cooking like you.
That's
the way you got to look at it. You're sharing yourself. Share, Krissi, with the world.
I know. We'll see. We'll see what you guys, all my fans, think, and maybe you guys can convince me. We'll see.
Well, that leads to the most important question: is when are you cooking for us?
Yo, you say when and where, and I'm there. I love hanging out with you guys.
Because I noticed we didn't get our barbecue invitation.
Well, that was a little fault on my part. It was just it was supposed to be close friends and somehow it just blew up because this person told this person. They text me, oh, can I bring so-and-so? And I'm like, at Italian, we never refuse anybody to the table. And then,
yeah, you're like, come on, get your ass over
when
here.
You guys said, hey, where's our invitation? I was like, come over. Party's going. Let's go.
Yeah,
but
at
it was
that
really
point,
awesome
I was on my...
to see Bree and Kathy, and Bree's a sweetheart. And the only reason that we fought was because she was little sister, I was big sister. And we were like, all the time. But it was never a nasty, nasty thing. When I'd be like, I hate her. I didn't hate Bree. Come on. How many times in this area do we say, I hate her or I hate him? And we don't really hate them. We just say it.
Well, Krissi, I want to thank you so much for being part of the show. Our phone lines and our doors always open to you.
Hook me up with the Zamboni guys, huh?
We'll be talking to the Zamboni guys in a little while, and we're going to be throwing your name out there to them. Maybe they'll take you for a ride on the truck.
Just throw them on the sand, and, I'm a single. No, never mind.
If she wants to call back in, she can call back in.
Listen,
the guys. I mean, come on, you're all Philly cooks.
Nah, I don't want to steal their thunder. They're pretty awesome dudes, so I definitely want them to get to be able to have their chance. So
we'll tell them that Krissi Biasiello is Team Zamboni.
Oh,
there you
all
go.
The way. All
nice.
the way.
Krissi,
I
again.
enjoy watching them very, very much. I like. Did I say I like looking at them? I enjoy watching them.
All right, Krissi. Well, thanks again. We love you. We'll see you soon, and we'll hang, and we're going to eat and manja.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thank you. Take care, Krissi.
All right. So long.
All right, everybody. To book Krissi, you heard it. Go onto her Facebook page, The Rotund Chef. Like the page, and you can contact her through the page, and she's doing catering now and cooking demonstrations and all that fun stuff. And this week on Fox is the last episode for the season of Masterchef. We'll find out who wins, Luca or Natasha.
She kills me with the pictures of those cupcakes, by the way.
I know. We got to get cupcakes. But let's take a quick commercial break. I saw the fat Elvis. It was killing me, Frank. We're fat guys. Of course it's going to kill us. So let's take a quick commercial break, and on the flip side, we'll be back with former Philly Scott Air.